Hello and welcome to the Reseller Stories podcast. Got another guest this week. It's Toby, also known as the Upstate Picker. Thank you for jumping on the Zoom call with me, Toby.
Man, it's a long time coming to say the least, man. It's a long time
Absolutely.
coming.
Yeah, we tried to
Yeah.
get on a call. It seems like a month now, and life got in the way, and it's just
Yeah.
one of those things. But I do appreciate you coming in and talking to us. So, would you like to tell
Yeah.
everybody how you kind of got started reselling?
All right. So just to give you a little intro, I had a baby on the way, right? I think my girlfriend was like 3 months pregnant. We were working together at a Lorica, which is a call center. Someone broke into our apartment, right? And I'm on a call. I'm like talking to a customer. Someone broke into our apartment. Latoya comes over to me and she's like, hey, we gotta go right now. So I'm like, okay. I didn't know what to do. So I was on the call. I was like, I gotta go. And I just put the headset down and I just left. I told my manager, I'm like, hey, I gotta go. Long story short, got fired for
Mm.
that, lost my job. And then, which is ironic, 2 weeks later, our car broke down. So then she lost her to get to work. So I really had no other choice. And that's kind of how I got started reselling, back against the wall type of ordeals.
Yeah,
Really what happened.
I understand that. I understand that.
Yeah.
Uh, that's kind of how I'm hearing. That's kind of how a lot of people get started, and it's just a have to basis. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's either this, I got to eat, so I'm going to start selling something. Now, see, you have a lot of pops behind you. Is that mainly what you do, or do you just do everything? But I know your YouTube channel is mainly about pops and stuff. What I saw of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a lot of pops. Like you could see, like right here, this is just a random one from Hot Topic.
Mhm.
But you got ones like this. This is from 2015. This sells for like $40. Funko Pops is something that I got into a while ago because I used to be into video games, and my brother just bought me some. And then, which is crazy, when Kobe Bryant passed away, I had a Kobe Bryant Funko Pop, and I didn't know what it was worth. I never knew anything about him. And then I saw someone sell it for $200, and I was like,
Wow,
obviously his death is not a good thing, it's
absolutely
horrible.
not.
But the price value went up on them, and that's when I kind of realized, like, hey, certain pops are worth a lot of money, and that's how I got into it. It started with Kobe Bryant, um, and that's really where it took off for me with reselling. I was trying to get like Kobe Bryant posters, anything, you know what I mean, and
Yeah,
kind of where it started.
I got you. That's something I've never really got into. I should have. I kind of keep an eye out. If I see them, I'll look them up. But the only only pops we have are I got my wife some Golden Girl pops. So she's a
Yeah,
big Golden Girl fan, and she collects
yeah,
everything with the Golden Girls in it. So
that's funny.
that's pretty neat. So yeah, I had a situation kind of like that. I never started selling, but it was a celebrity death like that that made me realize that as tragic as that is, it boosts up the value of some of their things. So I
Yeah,
never I never really got in. Well, when that happened, I wasn't in reselling, but I did see it when I was trying to collect his things. So
yeah.
I understand that. So how long have you been reselling? How long have you been doing this?
So I want to say, my wife, we moved in together in November of 2018, and I want to say probably August of 2019. So like what is that? 3 years?
Yeah.
Yes, or 2.5 years. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Over about 3 years, and it's crazy because last year, um, I've already made more money than last year and this year. So like in 6 months, I've made more money
Yeah.
than all of last year. So
Well, that's awesome.
yeah,
That's we started kind of just a little hobby, just something to do while I was off. And
yeah,
this year we started getting serious with it and trying to do more, post more, be more regular with it. And we're doing okay. We're doing a pretty decent part-time job with it. But yeah, we're looking to expand and grow too. And just while I'm thinking about it, you're in North Carolina, right?
I'm in South Carolina, but
South Carolina.
I'm in Spartanburg. If you've ever heard of
Yeah,
Spartanburg,
yeah, 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 yeah.
I know you. I saw you on Instagram. I think you were in the Cherokee Mountains, weren't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
I
We
was at
were.
the casino
Yeah.
in Cherokee like the same day. That was crazy. I
Oh,
saw you at
really?
the river fly fishing or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah. We're gonna go back here in the next couple of weeks. We're going back up there. We love Cherokee. Anywhere from Natahala, the Ocoee up in Tennessee, to Natahala to
So you live in Tennessee,
Cherokee.
right?
I live in Alabama, just across the Tennessee line. If you're coming down Highway 65,
Yeah,
so just across the line. So I'm not too terribly far.
yeah.
Um, but the reason I asked, I can't remember exactly where this yard sale goes, but that yard sale, the Highway 127 yard sale, the world's longest yard sale, is coming up next weekend. And I was
Yeah.
just wondering if you had plans on trying to
I never heard of that. Where's that going to be at? Is it in
it.
Columbia?
Well, no, it'll. I think it's a little, a little bit from y'all, but it's kind of like one of those things where people, meet up and go to it. But it starts in
Yeah.
Alabama, and it goes all the way up to Michigan. There's websites on it,
Oh my
and
God.
it'd be worth checking it out. I don't know how far it is from
Yeah.
you, but I have to
Yeah.
work next weekend, and if it wasn't for that, we would be taking a couple of days and driving straight up. It's a big deal right there.
Yeah.
Well, check it out. See what you think. And but we're to the part of the podcast where I like to ask this question. Like I said last week with Dave, the reason I started my podcast was because I am interested in people's stories, how they got started, but really stories on like the crazy things that happened to them while they're outsourcing, any kind of like really big finds, any kind of really big flips that they had, any kind of just weird things that happened to them. So if you have any stories like that, you mind sharing anything that you may have?
Yeah. I have a couple. Just real quick. After the car broke down, I used to have to walk like 6 miles to get to the Marshalls. And I don't know if you're familiar with Ray Dunn. It's like home decor, like glassware. The
Mm.
name is Ray Dunn. I never knew they resold, but I saw one person selling on Facebook Marketplace. So I went to Marshalls and I bought like 6 or 7 of these cups. Had no idea. Paid like $5, and I sold them for like $12 each. And it was so crazy because when I got there was like 35 middle-aged white women like
Mm.
waiting at Marshalls,
Yeah.
and that was my first like, what am I doing here? But I was making money. Another crazy find is, so I sell a Macari. I make most of my money in Macari, just by the way. And we went to this thrift store and they had a Scooby Doo, like it was like it was like taller than almost taller than me. It's like a 5 foot stuffed animal for it. And I like to mix my stuff up on my page. I like to list it. It looks like I'm selling stuff out of my house. You know what I mean? I don't have
Mm.
like a professional. At that time, I have a professional background and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm gonna list this thing for $100, just to make my page have more items. I really didn't want to
Yeah.
sell it. And then
Mhm.
I woke up and I sold it for $100, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. And ever since then, I used to. I don't know. This is one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite sales. But I used to go to stores. This is hilarious. When I had no money, I was broke. I would go to stores and take pictures of items, and then I would hide them inside of the store. And when they sold on Macari, I'd go back and buy it. And sometimes I'd have to borrow money from people and then pay them back. And I'd make like $2. But I did that for probably like 6 months until I built up enough money to go
Wow.
sourcing. Yeah.
That is awesome, man. I hadn't even thought about
Yeah.
that. I mean, I've listed things in the thrift stores, but I've never like took a picture and left it there.
And
That's
I don't know
awesome.
if it's ethical to hide items, but when you have no other choice, I mean, and it was funny is like, this was like during Christmas time. I sold a bunch of Nintendo Switch portable chargers for like
Uh-huh.
$40 each, and I paid like $10 for them. But I just took pictures in the store in Marshalls, hit them in the back, and then went in there and bought them.
Wow, that's awesome. That's the ultimate hustle right there, man. That's awesome.
I'm not proud of it, but I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to
You
do
got to, yeah,
sometimes.
absolutely. I mean, like you say, it might not be ethical, but I don't necessarily think it's illegal.
It's
So,
still in the store, you know what I mean? It's not like I took it, but
yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
That's awesome. You got anything else? I mean, any kind of,
Yeah. So I remember we went into a store and we found like it was unbelievable. So it was a sewing machine, like a Singer. I think it's called a Singer sewing
mhm.
machine, and it was locked up in a cage, and they wanted like $130 for it. But we looked up the comps, and it sold for $700. So I'm like, holy! So we
Wow.
had to get it. So I go to put it up to the counter, and it has a $125 sticker on there. And she rings it up, or she looks at, she's like, it says $5, right? And I was like, oh. I was like, I wish. And then I paid 125. I was so tempted, but no, I would never do that. But we ended up selling that thing for like $600, and it
Wow.
was sold the same day. Um, but recently, I wanted to say we went to Goodwill. I'm actually making a video on this. I went to Goodwill, and the experiment I want to do was, if you go to richer neighborhoods, you know what I mean? Like if I go to a place like Simpsonville, from where I live, Simpsonville is way more wealthy. So I figured the items at their Goodwill should be better, right? The average
Mhm.
stuff, they should have better items. What I found is that the items weren't even better, but they were way overpriced. I mean,
Yeah.
they had a used Wii with 2 controllers. They're selling for $90, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I was just like, man. And I was talking to the manager, and like I was like, yo, you guys gotta. And then this is the crazy part. One of the employees that worked there he had a disability.
Mhm.
He was getting paid $4 an hour, and I
Oh
was,
man,
man,
that's crazy.
yeah,
I've noticed that about estate sales. If you go to an estate sale at a well-to-do neighborhood, I mean, they have
yeah,
nice things there, but they're really high price. Everybody knows they're nice. I love going to just regular everyday people
yeah. I
estate
was gonna say
sales.
the estate sales that are ran by the family and not by, like, like a corporation or like a company.
Mhm.
Um, when they got to sell it just to get it out, when a family has to get out, that's the best one to go to for
Yeah,
sure.
you're right about that. But
Yeah.
that's some pretty good stories, and I do appreciate it. And I guess we're going on a little on probably about 15-20 minutes now. I guess I'm pretty bad at estimating timing, but
Yeah.
I do appreciate you
Yeah,
coming
man.
on and sharing some stories with me. And you got anything else you'd like to say before we sign off?
I just like to say, anyone who's interested in being a reseller, the number one tip I can give you that no one talks about is trying to find products online that you can source to create a baseline for your income. If you can find, I don't care what it is, if you can find Apple chargers, if you can find stickers, whatever it is, buy something in bulk, use an automation and list it on Macari every single day, and create a baseline for your sales. That way, if your sales are up and down, at least you have something steady going for you.
Yeah.
I would recommend doing that if you're going to get started before you quit your job and do all the crazy stuff, like, or get fired. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Don't hide
Yeah.
stuff in the store, but if you have to, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's about it, man. But
Well,
I thank you so much for having me on. I really did appreciate it. I'm glad we were able to finally get on. Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
I just want to say, man, like I say, I appreciate you jumping on with me. You know, you're one of the first that wanted to do a Zoom call with me, and I do appreciate it. Somebody
man.
that's just now starting off. But I just wanted to tell you, anybody that's doing this full time, just doing it part time, what I'm doing, it is a grind. And somebody that is doing it full time and doing YouTube videos and doing all that like you're doing, man, I respect that so much. You doing your own thing, and I
Thank you.
appreciate it. And I guess with that, we're out.